8 deadly footwear choices stealing your independence. Did you know that over 300,000 seniors are hospitalized for fall injuries each and every year? It is a terrifying number to hear. But here is the part that almost nobody talks about. Improper footwear contributes to nearly 45% of these cases. We are not just talking about a bruised knee or a sprained ankle here. This is a silent epidemic that is stealing mobility and independence from millions of people, perhaps even someone you know. I want you to meet Arthur. He is a 72-year-old retired teacher. Up until last year, he was the picture of health. But his life changed in an instant, right in his own kitchen. Arthur was wearing his favorite, comfortable loafers, the ones he had worn for years. He did not notice a few drops of water on the floor. In a split second, his worn-out soles slipped. One hip fracture later, Arthur was sitting in a hospital room, hearing the words we all dread. The doctors told him he might never walk independently again. It felt like a life sentence. But I am about to show you how Arthur defied those odds. By the end of this video, you will see exactly how he went from barely making it to his mailbox to hiking mountain trails with his grandchildren. And he did it all by avoiding the 8 deadly footwear mistakes that most seniors make every single day. Mistakes you might be making right now without even realizing it. Welcome to Elderly Heart Talks, where we turn research into practical, honest solutions for your happiest, healthiest golden years. Let us get started. You see, the shoes that carried you comfortably through your 40s can literally disable you at 70. This is not exaggeration. It is simply biology. As we age, our relationship with the ground beneath us fundamentally changes. And so must our footwear. Your feet undergo 3 critical transformations that most people never discuss. First, the fat padding that once cushioned every step thins dramatically, leaving bones and nerves exposed to impact. Second, the nerve receptors that help you balance degrade by up to 30% after age 65. And third, your joints become increasingly sensitive to misalignment, turning minor gait issues into chronic pain throughout your entire body. Arthur discovered these changes the hard way. He told me, "I kept wearing the same types of shoes I always had. Nobody warned me that my feet had changed." Today, we will cover the 8 deadly footwear choices silently stealing mobility from seniors. But I will not just point out problems. I will share the 3 life-changing solutions that podiatrists recommend to their own parents, but rarely discuss publicly with patients. These strategies helped Arthur reclaim his independence, and they could transform your mobility, too. If you want more life-changing advice like this, please subscribe to our channel. Your feet and your future self will thank you. Now, let us start with a footwear choice that might seem obvious, but hides a sinister secret even in its sensible forms: high heels. Now, I know what many of you are thinking. You are likely saying, "Oh, I gave up my 6-inch stilettos years ago." But here is the trap that catches so many women in their golden years. When you wear any heel, even a modest 1 or 2 inches in height, your entire body weight shifts forward unnaturally. In fact, studies show that a simple 2-inch heel increases the pressure on the ball of your foot by an astounding 75%. Imagine that for a moment. Every single step you take forces your toes into a compressed, cramped position, crushing the delicate bones of your forefoot. But the damage does not stop there. It creates a domino effect throughout your entire body. When your weight shifts forward, your knees have to bend slightly to compensate. Your hips tilt forward. Your lower back arches. Suddenly, that nagging back pain you have been feeling is not just getting old. It is a direct result of the shoes on your feet. Arthur's wife, Janet, learned this lesson the hard way at 68. For decades, she worked as a bank manager and wore what she called her practical 2-inch pumps. She told me, "I thought I was being sensible. I thought I was being safe by avoiding the high-fashion shoes." But after she retired, her feet seemed to simply collapse. The bunion she had ignored for years became unbearably painful as the protective fat pads on her feet thinned out. Janet ultimately needed surgical intervention. It was a painful procedure with a long 12-week recovery period. That was 3 months where she lost her independence, right when she and Arthur had planned to travel and enjoy their retirement. Here is the hidden danger that many doctors fail to mention. It is not just about the shoes you wear today. It is about the cumulative damage of 75 million steps taken over a lifetime, suddenly revealing itself when your body can no longer mask the pain. Even if you only wear them for weddings or church, you are taking a risk your body can no longer afford. How many of you ladies still have high heels in your closet that you wear for special occasions? Drop a shoe emoji in the comments if you are reconsidering those shoes after learning this. Our second deadly footwear choice might surprise you, especially if you live in a warmer climate or just love the feeling of summer. I am talking about flip-flops. These seemingly innocent summer staples are actually foot health destroyers in disguise. We love them because they are easy. You just slip them on to grab the mail or head to the beach. But have you ever stopped to think about what your foot has to do to keep that loose piece of rubber attached to you? With every single step you take in a flip-flop, your toes must curl and grip unnaturally to keep the shoe from flying off. You might not even realize you are doing it, but your feet are fighting a constant battle. This constant gripping alters your natural gait and creates immense tension that travels up through the arch of your foot. Unlike proper footwear that moves with you, flip-flops force your feet to adapt to them. This is the exact opposite of what aging feet need. Even worse, flip-flops provide absolutely zero arch support and minimal shock absorption. Each step sends jarring impact forces directly into your bones and joints. When we were younger, our resilient tissues could bounce back from this. But after age 60, this repeated trauma accelerates joint deterioration. Arthur learned this painful lesson during what should have been a joyful retirement trip to Florida. He wanted to relax, so he wore flip-flops everywhere, by the pool, walking to restaurants, and even for a mile-long walk on the beach. He told me, it felt fine at the time, but by day 3, disaster struck. Arthur woke up, put his feet on the floor, and felt a searing pain in his heel, like he was stepping on a nail. He had developed plantar fasciitis, a severe inflammation of the thick band of tissue connecting the heel to the toes. That simple choice to wear flip-flops cost him dearly. It took 6 months of physical therapy to resolve the pain. That was half a year where he could not take his morning walks, could not stand for long periods to cook, and lost precious mobility. And here is what many seniors do not realize until it is too late. The pain rarely stays in your feet. When you walk differently to accommodate that foot pain, your knees bear extra stress, your hips compensate, and your lower back absorbs the imbalance. One poor footwear choice creates a domino effect of pain throughout your entire body. The third deadly footwear choice is one almost everyone makes without realizing it. Worn-out sneakers that look perfectly fine on the outside. This is a particularly dangerous trap for our generation. Many of us grew up with parents who taught us to use it up and wear it out. We are reluctant to replace items that do not appear physically damaged. If the fabric is clean and the tread looks okay, we assume the shoe is still doing its job. But here is the invisible reality that most seniors do not realize. Athletic shoes lose approximately 40% of their cushioning and support after just 6 months of regular use. The damage happens deep inside the midsole, the foam layer between your foot and the ground. This foam absorbs shock with every step you take. But over time, it compresses and loses its ability to bounce back. It breaks down silently, long before the outside of the shoe shows a single scratch. When that foam dies, it leaves your joints vulnerable to impact forces that can be 3 to 5 times your body weight. Arthur epitomized this problem. He told me, "My sneakers look great after 3 years. The tread is fine. No holes. I thought they were perfectly good." What he did not realize was that his mysterious knee pain, which was making him sit down more and move less, stemmed directly from these dead shoes providing inadequate support. He was essentially walking on concrete with a thin strip of hard rubber attached to his foot. Here is a quick test you can do right now to see if your shoes are betraying you. It is called the twist test. Take your everyday walking shoe in your hands. Hold the heel in one hand and the toe in the other. Now, try to twist it like you are wringing out a wet dish rag. If the shoe twists easily, if it offers no resistance, the supportive structure has broken down. Even if the exterior looks pristine, a supportive shoe should be firm. It should only bend at the ball of the foot where your toes bend, not twist in the middle. When Arthur finally replaced his still good sneakers with fresh ones, his knee pain resolved within 2 weeks. Those $70 shoes saved him from progressing toward a $40,000 knee replacement. Now, I want you to be honest with yourself. When was the last time you replaced your everyday shoe? If it has been over 6 months of daily wear, you might be walking on a hazard. Tell me in the comments below. Our fourth deadly footwear choice is probably sitting right by your favorite chair or bedside at this very moment. Backless slippers. These seem innocent enough. They are soft, warm, and incredibly easy to slide into without bending down. But make no mistake, these comfort accessories are among the most dangerous items in your home. In fact, they are the #1 culprit for falls inside the house. The statistics are alarming. 38% of in-home falls among seniors involve unsuitable footwear, with backless slippers leading the list. The reason lies in simple body mechanics. When you wear a shoe with no back, your walking pattern changes without you even realizing it. To keep the slipper from sliding off, your toes have to grip hard with every step, and you naturally start to shuffle. You do not lift your feet as high as you should. This shuffling gait reduces your ankle stability by up to 65%. You are essentially walking on a loose platform that can shift at any moment. This destroys your balance during those split-second moments when you need it most, like turning quickly to answer a ringing doorbell or navigating a step. Arthur witnessed this danger firsthand with his neighbor, Ruth. Ruth was a vibrant 78-year-old woman who lived independently and loved her garden. One afternoon, she was simply walking down her interior stairs in her beloved fuzzy backless slippers. She had worn that style for decades without issue, but on the third step, her heel lifted. But the slipper did not. The loose sole caught on the edge of the carpet. Ruth fell forward, unable to catch herself in time. That single fall resulted in a broken wrist and a fractured collarbone. The paramedics told Arthur they see this exact scenario several times a week. Ruth spent months in recovery, unable to cook for herself, all because of a slipper. Think about it this way. Would you drive your car without a seatbelt just because it feels more comfortable? Of course not. Yet, many of us risk our mobility daily for the minor convenience of backless footwear. The comfort they promise is simply not worth the heavy price you might pay. Number 5 is a silent hazard that transforms everyday surfaces into potential disaster zones. Shoes with smooth, worn down, or naturally slick soles. Look closely at the dress shoes and loafers sitting in your closet right now. Notice how the bottom surfaces have likely worn smooth over time, erasing the traction patterns designed to grip the ground. Even brand new dress shoes often prioritize aesthetics over safety, featuring leather soles that offer almost no grip at all. What many seniors do not realize is that traction decreases by approximately 75% as shoe soles age or wear down. This reduction becomes life-threatening when combined with typical household scenarios, like a few drops of water on a kitchen tile, a slightly damp bathroom floor, or morning dew on outdoor steps. Arthur experienced this danger firsthand before his major fall. He told me, "I was wearing my favorite leather-soled loafers in the kitchen. My wife had wiped the counter, and a tiny bit of water had splashed onto the floor. My foot went out from under me so fast I did not even have time to react. That minor slip caused Arthur to twist awkwardly to catch himself, resulting in back pain that plagued him for weeks. The warning sign was there, but like many of us, he dismissed it as just being clumsy. Here is a quick test you can do today to check your own shoes. It is called the slide test. While wearing your everyday shoes, place one foot on your bathroom tile or a smooth kitchen floor. Gently attempt to slide your foot forward like you are skating on ice. If your foot moves easily across the floor, you are walking on potential hazards every single day. Safe footwear should resist this sliding motion. It should grip the floor even when you try to push it. If you slide, it is time to say goodbye to those shoes before they cause a fall you cannot recover from. Our sixth deadly footwear choice affects millions of seniors who do not realize their feet have literally changed shape. Tight-fitting dress shoes. Here is a biological fact that most people do not know. Your feet naturally widen as you age. After decades of standing and walking, the ligaments and tendons that hold your foot bones together gradually stretch, allowing the bones to spread out. By age 70, the average person's foot is nearly half a size wider than it was at 40. Yet, most seniors continue buying the same size they have worn for decades out of habit. When you squeeze your wider feet into narrow dress shoes, you are not just risking discomfort, you are actively restricting blood flow to your extremities. This is a particularly dangerous situation for anyone with diabetes or circulation issues. Even more concerning, compressed nerves and tight shoes can trigger or worsen neuropathy. This causes numbness that dramatically increases your fall risk because you cannot feel the floor beneath you. If you cannot feel the ground, you cannot balance on it. Arthur learned this painful lesson while preparing for his grandson's wedding. He had not worn dress shoes in years, but he assumed his old pair still fit. By the reception, his feet were burning with pain. But it was what happened afterward that really scared him. The nerve compression from those 6 hours in tight shoes triggered symptoms that lasted for weeks. Arthur temporarily lost sensation in parts of his feet, causing him to stumble repeatedly during that time. Remember, foot width often changes independently of length, so even if your shoes feel long enough at the toes, they might be dangerously narrow at the sides, cutting off the signals your brain needs to stay upright. Our seventh deadly footwear choice isn't actually footwear at all. It is the increasingly popular habit of going barefoot around the house. While it might feel natural and comfortable to let your feet breathe, walking barefoot after age 60 creates serious risks that younger adults simply do not face. There is a popular myth that walking barefoot is better because it strengthens the foot. While that might be true for a 20-year-old on soft grass, the reality for seniors walking on modern hard surfaces is very different. Many seniors do not realize that walking barefoot increases fall risk by up to 37% compared to wearing proper, supportive house shoes. Without cushioning and support, your balance mechanisms must work harder with each step. But the bigger issue is the impact. Walking barefoot on hardwood, laminate, or tile floors sends up to 7 times more shock through your joints than walking on carpet or soft ground. For aging joints that are already struggling with arthritis or degradation, these impact forces accelerate damage and pain cycles. It is like driving a car with no shock absorbers over a bumpy road. Eventually, the frame is going to crack. Arthur discovered these risks the devastating way. He told me, "I stepped on something tiny in my kitchen. I think it was just a dried breadcrumb or a small pebble." Because Arthur has diabetic neuropathy, he barely felt it. But that tiny object created a small cut on the bottom of his foot. Because he was barefoot, that minor injury was exposed to bacteria on the floor. It developed into a dangerous foot ulcer that took 3 months to heal and required specialized wound care to prevent infection. This challenges the popular idea that barefoot is best. As foot surgeon Dr. Sarah Jenkins explains, the barefoot movement makes sense for some people, but for my senior patients, it is like removing the safety features from a car whose suspension system is already compromised. Are you watching this video barefoot right now? You might want to reconsider sliding into a pair of supportive house shoes for the sake of your hips, your knees, and your safety. Our eighth and final deadly footwear mistake is perhaps the most common of all: the one-pair-fits-all mentality. This is a trap that nearly 78% of seniors fall into. It stems from a desire to be practical and frugal. We find one pair of good, sturdy shoes, maybe a nice pair of New Balance or Brooks sneakers, and we decide that these will be our shoes for everything. We wear them for our morning walk. We wear them to dig in the garden. We wear them to the grocery store. And we even wear them to church because our dress shoes hurt too much. Arthur fell into this exact trap. He admitted to me, "I had my good sneakers that cost nearly $100. I thought if I just wore those, I would be safe no matter what I was doing." But here is the problem. As we age, our feet require different types of support for different movements. The side-to-side stability you need for gardening or cleaning the house is completely different from the forward motion cushioning you need for a long walk. When Arthur used his walking shoes for gardening, the twisting and kneeling broke down the sides of the shoes, destroying the stability he needed for walking. Furthermore, soil and mud got stuck in the treads, turning his grippy walking shoes into slick surfaces when he stepped onto the sidewalk. Many seniors make the mistake of thinking that buying 3 different pairs of shoes is a luxury they cannot afford on a fixed income. But let us look at the financial reality. One single trip to the emergency room for a fall injury costs far more than outfitting yourself with 3 pairs of specialized shoes. Investing in the right tool for the job is not a luxury. It is the cheapest insurance policy you can buy for your independence. So, we have covered the 8 mistakes that might be putting you at risk. But knowing the problem is only half the battle. How do we fix it? Arthur used 3 specific, life-changing solutions to reclaim his mobility, and they are strategies you can start using today. Let us look at the first solution. To be honest, these footwear choices are incredibly common. Almost everyone has a pair of flip-flops, some old sneakers, or those comfy backless slippers sitting in their closet right now. We all do. We buy them because they are easy to find, and we have worn them for years. But now that we know the risks, we can make better choices. We do not need to be afraid. We just need to be smart. Arthur used 3 specific, budget-friendly solutions to fix his foot pain and stay safe. Here is the first one. Solution number 1. The professional fitting. Did you know that over 80% of adults are currently walking around in shoes that are the wrong size? That is a staggering statistic. Most of us are wearing shoes that are either too short or, more commonly, too narrow because we are sticking to the size we wore 20 years ago. Here is what you need to do. Do not just go to a big box store where a teenager hands you a box. You need to find a store that specializes in comfort footwear or visit a podiatrist. When you get there, insist on being measured while you are standing up. This is critical because your feet expand and flatten under your body weight. A shoe that fits when you are sitting might be dangerously tight when you stand. Arthur was skeptical about this. He told me, "I have known my shoe size since 1980, but when the specialist measured him standing up, he discovered he had been forcing a wide foot into a medium shoe for decades. When he tried on the correct size, he said it felt like his feet could finally breathe again." Solution number 2. The 3-zone system. The second game-changing solution is what Arthur calls the 3-zone system. This approach acknowledges that no single shoe can safely do everything. Instead of looking for one magic pair, think of your footwear in 3 zones. Zone 1 is your home footwear. This is non-negotiable for fall prevention. You need a dedicated house shoe. It must have a closed back for stability, a non-slip rubber sole for traction, and it should be easy to get on and off. Arthur discovered that wearing proper house shoes virtually eliminated his morning stiffness because his feet were supported from the moment he got out of bed. Zone 2 is your everyday support shoe. These are for your daily errands, grocery shopping, or visiting friends. You want maximum cushioning here. And Zone 3 is for specific activities. If you garden, you need a shoe with ankle stability. If you walk for exercise, you need a walking shoe. Now, I know what you are thinking. That sounds expensive, but Arthur did this on a strict budget. He spent the most on his everyday shoes because he wears them 60% of the time. For his gardening shoes, he looked for sales. He realized that buying 3 pairs that last 3 years is cheaper than buying 1 pair that wears out in 6 months, and certainly cheaper than a hospital bill. Solution number 3. Custom orthotics and smart adjustment. Finally, our third solution addresses the foundation of mobility itself: custom orthotics and smart adjustments. Many seniors are confused by the difference between the squishy insoles you buy at the pharmacy and real orthotics. Think of it this way. Generic insoles are like a soft mattress. They feel nice at first, but they do not fix a bad back. Orthotics are like a prescription. They actually correct how you walk. The good news is, you do not always need the $400 custom version made by a doctor. Arthur discovered a middle ground called heat moldable inserts. You can find these for around $40. You warm them in your oven, stand on them, and they mold to the unique shape of your foot. They provided Arthur with 70% of the benefit of custom orthotics at a fraction of the cost. And here is a medical tip that could save you money. If you have Medicare or private insurance, ask your doctor specifically about therapeutic orthotics for fall prevention. Using those specific words, fall prevention, can sometimes help with insurance coverage, especially if you have diabetes or foot deformities. Even simple modifications can work wonders. If you have a bunion, a shoe repair shop can stretch that specific spot on your leather shoe for just a few dollars. These small tweaks turn a painful shoe into a comfortable tool for mobility. So, we have the right fit, the right zones, and the right support. When Arthur combined these 3 things, The results were nothing short of miraculous. Let me show you what happened next. 6 months after implementing these 3 solutions, Arthur's transformation was nothing short of remarkable. I recently received a photo from him. It showed him hiking on a nature trail with his 2 grandchildren. He wasn't sitting on a bench watching them play. He was leading the way, walking over uneven ground with confidence. He told me, "I went from taking pain medication daily to walking 5,000 steps completely pain-free. The constant fear of falling that kept me trapped in my house is finally gone." And the physical improvements were measurable, not just a feeling. His balance test scores improved by 38%. But more importantly, he has not had a single fall incident since changing his footwear approach. He got his life back. I want you to remember this powerful truth as we finish today. Your footwear choices today determine your mobility tomorrow. The decisions you make right now about something as simple as a pair of shoes will decide how big your world is in the years ahead. I would love to hear from you in the comments below. Which of these 8 footwear mistakes surprised you the most? Was it the flip-flops? Or perhaps the truth about those comfortable backless slippers? Let us start a conversation and help each other stay safe. If you found value in our time together today, please subscribe to Elderly Heart Talks. We are building a community here, dedicated to making your golden years safe, happy, and full of life. Thank you for watching. Take care of your feet, and they will take care of you. Goodbye for now.